All right, algebra students, let's look at Unit 4, Lesson 1, which is describing and graphing situations. There are 3 goals here. If you need to, pause the video to get these down. I can explain when a relationship between 2 quantities is a function. So we're going to look at a relationship between an x and a y, or any 2 sets of numbers, and what we'll do is we're going to look at what makes a relationship a function and what isn't a function, what relationships don't work out the way functions are supposed to. I can identify independent and dependent variables in a function and use words and graphs to represent the function. So we're going to be looking at the 2 types of variables: independence, otherwise known as our inputs, and dependence, otherwise known as our outputs, and how we can then graph those values to show it on a graph. We also need to be able to use our words to describe the relationship that we're seeing. And third, I can make sense of descriptions and graphs of functions and explain what they tell us about situations. So the idea here is, when we look at the graph, do we know what's going on and how it relates to the situation as a whole? So we have 3 main vocabulary terms that we're going to be using. First is dependent variable. Variable representing the output of a function, usually y. So what we're looking at is a letter that's representing all the outputs. We typically call that letter y, especially when we're graphing. Function, a relationship of inputs to outputs where each input has exactly one output. So the idea here is, if we make a math problem and we plug a number into the math problem, we will only get one answer out for each number that we put in. So we put in 5, we only get one answer for 5. We don't get multiple answers. Independent variable. Variable representing the input of a function, usually x. So these are the numbers that we put into the math problem so that we can get our outputs. We put them in, and we usually use x, especially when we're graphing. All right, so here's our warm-up for lesson 1. So in a bagel shop, we have this sign: fresh bagels, 1 for $1.25, 6 for $6, 9 for $8, and 12 for $10. A customer orders 13 bagels. The shopkeeper says that will be $16.25. Jada says it should be $13.25. Priya says it should be $13, and Han says it should be $11.25. What I want you to do is pick 2 of these 4 people, Han, Priya, Jada, or the shopkeeper, and explain how each of them got their number. So if you choose Han, please explain how they could use this right here to come up with an answer of $11.25. And do the same for the others. You just need to pick 2 of the 4, and that will start our discussion tomorrow. Thanks.